Wow, wow,
Wow,
wow.
wow,
Wow, wow,
wow,
wow,
wow,
wow.
wow.
Wow,
That
wow, wow,
wow,
wow, wow,
wow,
Wow,
wow.
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 Good morning. Wow, wow, wow.
If
This is
that doesn't make you want to
episode
stay, I don't know. Well, boom, boom, boom.
that has people coming in by the masses.
Hell yeah, to hear our acapella wow, wow with the whammy bar.
It's yeah, it's subliminally telling people come to the
Uh,
show. Welcome to the Two Dumb Yinzers, everybody. This is episode 501. We are
whoa.
starting season 5, everybody. This is season 5. Welcome to the brand new season of the Two Dumb Yinzers.
I'm happy to be here.
Mike.
I'm just pumped, excited,
I'm
and
just
ready to
here.
go. And Derpy's like, I'm just here.
That's
He's like Derpy's like Marshawn Lynch. He's here so he does not get fined.
right. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. We find Derpy every time he doesn't come. So just in case you're wondering, what the pay situation is around here. Mm.
And then not use them on the current, and then
Derpy,
not
like I'm
use them
just here.
in a clutch situation.
Good morning, Ron on the board. Yeah. Woo, this is episode 5, Ron. Welcome. Welcome back. This is episode 501, season 5. I'm sorry, season 5. Ron's wife has pneumonia. I tell you what, guys, there's a lot going around right now. Everywhere you look and everywhere you go, I got to say that I'm pretty I'm pretty healthy compared to everybody else that I look around and see.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever it's like this, it's like, you just sit there and dread and wait. Okay, it's going to happen at any moment. It's going to hit me. It's going to hit me. It's going to hit me. And I've been
But
lucky
then it
to this point.
hasn't.
But the thing is, you're lucky to this point, but then as I said, to yourself, it's going to hit you. I just would rather it hit me, get it over with, and get ready to, move forward. But I hate being the last one to get sick. And I'm never the guy that doesn't get sick when everybody else does. I just
Yeah.
tend to get it last,
Mm-hmm.
and it builds up strength and momentum. And then I get it, and I'm, 10 times worse than everybody else.
So
At
I
least that's
had it
what I
for
make
like
people think.
I had it for like a day, but I know people who've had it for like a week now. Feels
Yeah.
like
Are you sick too?
I was, but I'm good now.
Hmm.
I blame Bob nothing.
You know what? That's a good call. We always blame Bob nothing.
We got some stuff to talk about today. We're kind of wrap up. We're going to kind of wrap up the season. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl. I got some things I want to say. Then we're going to talk about some Steelers, trying to figure out what they're going to do next. We got all kind of stuff we're going to talk
A
about
lot of
today.
stuff to talk about.
Welcome, guys. It is Mike. People always say, why can't I have a holiday? Why can't I have a month? Why can't I? Mike, it's Fat Tuesday. It's time to celebrate, buddy. This is your day.
Yeah.
A
There's
win
no
is a
other
win.
day.
A
There's
win.
Mike.
A win is a win, boys. A win is a win.
there's
That's
no
all that
day.
matters.
There's no day like this for you. So there you go. You enjoy.
I'll take my win, and y'all can bump off because I got the win today.
And the special part of today's show, just like the Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to start something new today on episode 5,
Oh God.
501,
Oh
uh,
God.
season 5. I'm sorry, episode 501. As you did every day in school, you stood, you placed your hand over your heart, and you said the Pledge of Allegiance to remind yourself that you are an American. So I think moving forward here, excuse me, in season 5, every day we're going to start the episode with Derpy standing up and telling us how he's not as smart as a 5-year-old. So Derpy,
Oh wow.
so this is going to be
That's pretty harsh.
this is
That's
the
pretty harsh,
this
Ryan.
is the price that you pay when you lose to a 5-year-old. And you can't take it personal. It just is what it is. If Mike would have
Derpy.
lost to a 5-year-old, it would be the same thing. So
That's
Derpy,
rough, dude.
if you would please
Fine,
start
I'll do it.
the show off, Derpy, and repeat after me. I, Derpy,
I, Derpy,
am not as
am not as
smart as a 5-year-old.
smart as a 5-year-old.
You have your hand over your chest because that's important. If not, we have to do it again.
Ryan, don't tempt me.
All right, good enough. This is
Oh
how
my God.
this is how we're gonna start the show for the next.
I'll make Mike end this show in a heartbeat.
This is the new tradition. This is what we're gonna do at the beginning of
Oh
every
my
show for the
God.
next 363 days.
I can't. I can't with you two.
But look at it this way: next year, if you lose to Mike's son, he'll be 6, so it won't be as
It won't
embarrassing.
be as it'll be as bad, but it won't be
It
as
won't be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning to Brian on the board. Wasn't 501? Wasn't there G? Mike, you're a clothes guy. Wasn't that like jeans or something? 501.
Levi's 501s.
That was a thing, right?
Yeah, it is a thing. It's the style of how they fit. I only know that because I worked retail for 15 years.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. You're like the
I'm
resident
not the
expert.
clothes guy. I just had to fold them and had to find them and like, oh, okay, that's what those numbers mean. I thought it was just like us just randomly throwing numbers on something to make it sound fancy.
Yeah, that's what I would have assumed. But you know what? I guess it
Yeah,
makes.
yeah. No, I learned something in 15 years of retail that the general population sucks, and I can tell you what the numbers on the Levi's mean.
I knew in high school. I knew in high school that the general population sucked. I
I
really
had an
did.
inkling. I had an inkling, but yeah, once you work in the service industry, oh yeah, you realize people suck.
So one of the big storylines, I'd say probably one of the bigger storylines going into the final game of the season this year for the NFL was Taylor Swift. We're gonna cut her off today. Today's gonna be the last day we
Woo!
talk Swift, but I think this is necessary
Necessary.
because with the boycott on Taylor Swift that most people said they're not even gonna watch the Super Bowl because of
Mm-hmm.
her. This was the most watched TV program ever in the history of
You can
TV
thank your fans.
programs. It averaged 123.4 million. And let me get a couple more numbers up here because it's absolutely ridiculous on what this Super Bowl did with everybody being on boycotting the game because of Taylor
It
Swift.
brought money.
This Super Bowl is the most watched over ever, with a total audience of 123.4 million average viewers across all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
CBS led the way with 120 million viewers, the largest audience in the history for a single network. The Super Bowl is the most streamed Super Bowl in the history, led by a record-setting audience on Paramount Plus, and more than 200 million viewers watched all or part of the Super Bowl across all networks, the highest unduplicated total audience in the history, and up 10 plus 10% versus last year's Super Bowl. 10%.
Wow.
You can thank yours truly with the Taylor Swift fan club.
Yeah, you brought it, Derpy.
I
You and
mean,
T
I
Swift
did.
brought the audience.
so it's that it's that old mindset. Whether you like her or whether you hate her, you're going to tune in.
Yeah.
And and that holds true. And if you don't think that it does, why was the Chiefs and 49ers Super Bowl so much more popular and watched than the Chiefs and the Eagles last year? The only difference between this year and last year, guys, is Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and everyone, was like, "Oh, this is not the Super Bowl we wanted." No one wanted the Chiefs in there. They
Yeah,
wanted someone else. But yeah, it's the most watched Super Bowl of all time.
this is what you get when you have the bad guy in a
Yeah.
situation. People
Yeah,
like the
everyone wants
bad
to tune
guy.
in to see the bad guy lose.
Right.
I tuned in to see Hollywood Hogan lose.
I think that it's fascinating that it played out like this. I'm kind of glad that it did, because it speaks volumes when you look at these numbers, and it really is unbelievable
Yeah.
that this is the most watched TV program ever in the history of TV, when a lot of people said, in fact, they were not going to watch the Super Bowl because of Taylor Swift. A couple interesting facts about Ms. Swift: 54 seconds total during the course of the whole game was the amount of time that she was shown on your TV screen until
That's
celebration
shocking.
afterwards. It's
Yeah.
all the way up until the end of the game. 54 seconds total of almost over 3 hours. The game itself was 54 seconds. So there you go. Did people overreact, Mike?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, very much so. Like in the beginning, they showed her way too much. Like when she first started dating Travis, it was just wall to wall Taylor Swift. But I would say towards the end of the season, they figured it out. just a handful of seconds here and there. And it's like when you watch the NBA, they're always showing celebrities.
Right.
And when you're watching
People like to see
Yankees games,
Spike Lee
who's
and-
there? You're watching the Lakers game. What celebrities on Celebrity Row?
Right.
And they'll keep panning to them for reaction stuff. It's no different than when you watch those sports.
I couldn't agree
I
more,
support
Mike.
Roger Goodell.
I
And
think
and it's all about these are she's an entertainer. The NFL is about entertainment, and they're all about getting as much revenue as you can. And they saw viewership would go up. They tapped into newer demographics. So yeah, they're going to tap into those newer demographics to add to their ranks of viewers and fans and consumers. They want more eyeballs on the product to consume their product. So of course they're going to show her. Of course they're going to show like
it
big
was an
celebrities too.
A plus plus in marketing and
Oh, yeah.
and drawing people in.
Yeah.
And as I said, a lot of people are going to walk away saying, "Oh, I hate her. I wish I didn't see her," but the numbers say otherwise.
I just hate cutaways to anyone. I hate
54 seconds.
I hate constant replays. But you know what? It's part of the game. It's part of the viewing experience.
I've urinated longer than that. You know what I mean?
You might want to see a doctor about that, by the way.
That's literally nothing. 54 seconds.
No, it's not even a minute.
Of course, the game was a 25-22 overtime win by Kansas City.
I thought it was a great game.
I learned lots of things. A couple of things that I want to catch up from yesterday. Brian did send me a picture of the purple Gatorade. So that is confirmed. It was the purple Gatorade. I didn't see it. I don't know how I missed. The purple Gatorade being thrown on Andy Reid, but it happened. Also, I seen Ice Spice. Now, who is Ice Spice? Is she dating somebody or
no? She's just her.
Just
she's a musician, and she's been friends with Taylor Swift for a while.
Okay,
yeah.
I have no problem with Ice Spice. Like you said yesterday, she's kind of cute.
Yeah, there's some pictures you look at her like, not my thing. Other pictures you're like, she's really cute.
Yeah,
I just want to see like a side, thing of like her and Jason Kelsey going on adventures. They're like the two side characters
with him with no shirt on.
In a movie, like you want to follow the sidekicks. These are the comic relief characters you want to follow.
Like if you've seen him with no shirt on walking away with Ice Spice,
that would be, and like his wife just behind, just shaking her head, like, "Oh, I gotta go babysit the two children."
Right.
I would watch that. I would watch that reality show.
Also, another thing that I learned from watching this. What's Patrick Mahomes' wife's name?
Brittany
Mahomes. I know, we've talked about this before extensively on the show.
I saw this.
But how she is popping these kids out, and he's having the sympathy body. You know how
you got the
guys
bod.
have these sympathy pains when their women have babies.
Yeah,
he's literally getting the childbearing hips. The prego ass, the pooch that they get on on their belly. He somehow, in the fucked up world that we're in, Patrick Mahomes is getting her sympathy. Oh, you know what I mean? I'd stop knocking this chick up if I was him. Look at him; he's a mess.
She has the body that you like. You look at her, it's like, man, she looks like fit, in shape. She should be out there. Mahomes should be up in the stands. Yeah, but hey, people don't want to admit it, but that's what peak, male performance looks like. Is Patrick Mahomes with the beer belly or the dad bod.
Peak male performance.
Peak male performance.
I don't know what the hell that means, but
people think it could be ripped and jacked. 6-packs. Nah, you gotta have that little dad bod going on. And you're gonna win 3 Super Bowls on your way to catching Brady.
Somebody compared. I seen on Facebook. Somebody said that they look like he has shit in his pants. You know how I always say that he got that
like a toddler who has that poopy diaper.
Yeah,
and he's running.
Right. And it does look like it slows him down a little bit, but I don't know.
But like a toddler has that quick speed, man. Those fast legs, those quick feet.
Right. You can't catch the little fucker.
I think now when we scout everyone this year, if they have those short, choppy steps, we're going to describe it as they're running with a full diaper.
I like it.
I like it. This is the new scouting terminology. Runs with a full diaper.
Another thing that came up that I've been seeing, a lot of the people that wanted San Francisco to win, they are not giving up on the thing was rigged. Did anybody get the idea that this game was. I mean, let me put it out to you like this:
I
for the past
mean,
25 years, between the Patriots and the Chiefs,
Mhm.
in a period where you're supposed to have parity, where they've been trying to make it equal for everybody to have a chance in the league,
Yeah.
and these two guys just dominate. There's a part of you that says, you know what, something is going on. But I mean, wouldn't that be kind of obvious? You got two guys over 25 years, basically,
Yeah.
that's won everything.
Well, and they were people were saying that too when the Steelers won against Seattle, that it was rigged. You can analyze every snap frame by frame to look for a questionable hold, look for a questionable face mask that gets lost in the shuffle of like the action, that you're not going to catch that every single time. So you can pinpoint those ones. There's a hold. There's an illegal contact. It's like, yeah, but you're watching that frame by frame. You're not watching it bang bang where that stuff gets missed all the time. So
Did you
people,
walk
they're
away?
just going out of their way.
I mean, because there was games during the course of the season when we was like, wow, what a bizarre way that ended. What a bizarre
Yeah.
game that was. Did anybody, I mean, anybody on the panel here or on the board, did anybody get the vibe? I have to ask, because I don't know if it's just my biased opinion, because I was pulling for Kansas City in this particular game. But did anybody get the vibe that this game was fixed? I mean, it was a bunch of terrible play by the offense in the first half, as far as
Yep.
Kansas City goes. And then the second half, it
I
finished
did.
the way that every single Kansas City game ends. Does anybody get that vibe, guy? I didn't. I didn't get
didn't.
the vibe.
I did not.
I
No, like
did.
I got the
Did,
vibe of San Francisco should have kept running the ball
yeah.
because there was no answer for the CMC. And Shanahan once again mismanaging a Super Bowl. He's the architect of the 28-3 collapse against New England. And then he's the architect of this one. Yeah, they didn't have that big of a lead, but you were running the ball effectively, and then you just stopped giving it to the best offensive player in the
Yeah,
league.
really.
Get
You
out
got
of
Christian
here.
McCaffrey, and your alternative is, and we're not going to have the debate now about Brock Purdy, but that was the
But
alternative. Why
yeah,
don't you stick with, as you
I'm
said, the,
sticking with, I thought Purdy played well, but I'm giving the ball to my best player, and that is CMC.
yeah, almost kind of like a Seattle Seahawks situation. Why would you go
Yes,
away from
yes.
what
Why would
works?
you get away? Yeah, we're gonna get down there. We're gonna let beast mode run us down there. Then at the 2 yard line, we're gonna throw a quick slant into traffic. It's like you want. It's like coaches get into their mind, like, you know what? It's kind of like Pete Carroll in Seattle. Like, oh, people said Russ wasn't the guy who got us here. I'm gonna prove them wrong by having him score the game-winning drive. And down here, Shanahan, when he was in Atlanta, people think Matt Ryan isn't this great quarterback. Guess what? He's going to be the one to win. People think Brock Purdy's not all that great. Guess what? I'm going to make him be the one to win.
Derpy, what are
It's
you
like
doing?
they get it into their head to prove
Derpy, what are
people
you?
wrong.
It sounds like Derpy's on a machine in the hospital. What's going
It
on?
does too. Are you all right, Derpy?
I'm all right.
Okay,
You sound like Darth Vader over there.
was driving me nuts. I thought you were having that heavy nose breathe that you get, Mike.
I can't. My nose is stuffed up, so now I'm a mouth breather, and I hate it.
And I seen Patrick Mahomes already made his way down to Disneyland. He had his Disneyland day yesterday. Big parade tomorrow. So that's why I said I'm gonna knock the Super Bowl talk out, because the Super Bowl is done. And after tomorrow, after they have their parade, it's I mean, that's kind of the official
Yeah.
cherry on the cake. So we'll talk about a few more things here as far as the Super Bowl goes. We do have a lot to talk about the Steelers and other things also, guys. Justin Watson, the wide receiver from the
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs. Now, he just won his third straight Super Bowl. He's from South Fayette, right here, just south of Pittsburgh. And he was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team when Tom Brady won it. Then he went to the Chiefs and won 2 consecutive rings with the Chiefs. Justin Watson, Mike, 3 straight Super Bowl rings. Not a bad way to start off a career.
No, not bad at all. To land on, I'm going to play Tampa Bay where Tom Brady goes to retire and win a Super Bowl. Oh, I got to go somewhere else. Oh, fuck it. Oh, man, you mean I could play with Patrick Mahomes
You
and then
know,
back-to-back Super Bowls? That's a lucky guy right there.
it is a lucky guy. I like it.
Yeah. And,
Congratulations.
he's from the area, so hell yeah, I like that even more.
Congratulations to South Fayette's own Justin Watson, the wide receiver who now has 3 Super Bowl rings in a row. And then you have the 49ers who have 3 Super Bowl losses in a row.
Yeah.
They are on some Buffalo Bills shit. Of course, it isn't back to back. However,
Yes,
30
sir.
years ago, when they beat the San Diego Chargers in the Super Bowl in 1995, who would have thought we would be 30 years down the road in San Francisco would win nothing? Three straight losses, Mike. One more, you got to kind of put them in a category. I mean, yes, they have wins. Yes, this isn't in a row, but if you lose 4 straight Super Bowls, any way you slice it, come on. I mean, that's
Yeah,
something.
that is, that's gonna be up there with, like you said, the Bills, with the Minnesota Vikings. They're just lucky they had that nice little run in the 80s. Otherwise, they would be that franchise of chokers.
Because even
And,
even the Buffalo Bills, I mean, I'm sorry, the Denver Broncos, they were
mhm,
0-4 before they won
yeah,
their 2 in the late
mhm,
90s.
yeah.
So I
But
mean,
now,
there's a special category for these
yeah,
kind of teams.
yeah, but like now, like their history kind of has been rewritten. Not a lot of people remember those 4 losses. They just remember those 2 Elway.
Yeah.
Because when we were going back through, I forgot how many times they were in there before. And then
And then a couple
yeah,
more times with Peyton Manning. So I mean, the
yeah,
Broncos,
yeah. They only People are only remembering like the wins of the Broncos. They got lucky there, whereas San Fran might just, like you said, they're having that history of failure right now. That might be their new identity.
my favorite takedown of the game. Let's do a couple favorites that happened on the course of this game. My favorite takedown of the game was when the turf took down Ty Greenwald.
Oh God, that poor dude.
Here's the thing. You are on the biggest stage ever. More people's watched this game than
Oh,
has ever watched anything on a single TV channel. And you run out on the field and literally get hurt doing nothing.
oh, and
Why?
he was having a good game too.
And here's the thing about these guys, they're worried about not playing in a Pro Bowl because they don't want to get hurt.
See,
You might
this
as
is
well.
why I wouldn't play in the Pro Bowl.
Well, nobody in the Pro Bowl got hurt. This guy
That's
ran out
true.
on the
Yeah, because they
field.
weren't trying anything.
This guy ran out. Well, was he trying anything? All he
Well,
was
he
doing
was
was,
amped up. He was bouncing around all
well, that
game.
does not, I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. The guy literally took 2
I
steps forward and fell on his face.
I'd rather blow my Achilles out at the Super Bowl than at the Pro Bowl.
Well, nobody's getting injured at the Pro Bowl,
But
and
I tell you
nobody
what,
has
though,
for a long, long time, as far as I know. Well,
I tell you what, though, I it was a nice wrap up on the season. You have Aaron Rodgers blowing his Achilles out in the first game, then you got someone blowing their Achilles out in the last game. The script writers did a nice little bookend on the season.
he got taken down by the turf.
Turf monster, baby, you got to watch out
And
for.
again, these guys are so cautious. Don't get hurt when you're not supposed to. Well, there you go. There you go. The thing
I'd
about
rather
these,
get hurt at
and I know that
the
you're going to be
Super Bowl.
devil's advocate, so I have to kind of keep fighting and weeding through what you're saying to
I'm
continue
just
this
saying.
conversation.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, these guys they're built in such a way. You have to have such a certain physical strength and
Hmm.
physique to be in this league. It's abnormal. It's freakishly abnormal.
Yeah.
And you could kind of look at TJ Watt. A lot of times when he gets hurt, there's
There's
not
a
really
nothing.
anything that happens.
Yeah.
He's stretching his arm across the
Hmm.
a body to make a tackle, or he just comes up lame after just something that doesn't even look bad. These guys that they're so fragile. Maybe that's why they don't want them playing in the Pro Bowl, because these
Well,
guys they're just so fragile.
well,
And as I said, when was the last time you took 3 steps and fell to the ground? I mean, I do remember the time you got
Derpy,
injured.
Derpy,
I remember the time
breathe
that you
away
got
from the
injured,
mic.
Mike, when you were reversing your car, which was classic. You were going in reverse in your car and you got hurt, which was one of my favorite injuries. And this is right up there with it. Don't get me wrong. But how
How do
often,
you remember that?
how, how, how can I not remember that?
That okay, yeah. When unfortunate injuries, are listed. Greenlaw and me are up there with
Oh,
unfortunate
these are my
injuries.
top two.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But as I'm saying, the average
And I'm
guy,
not a physical specimen like that guy.
exactly. That's my point. The average guy goes to jog and takes 2 steps, doesn't usually get injured and fall in their face. I seen people that are, a matter of fact, I see very heavy women walking around my town doing that fast walk with the exercise. They're okay, as far as I know. You
Yeah,
just don't see, generally, you don't see average people falling on their
yeah.
face out of nowhere. I thought it was kind of funny. That was my favorite takedown of the game.
Of course, someone's Achilles being blown out, it would be your favorite play of the
It
game.
was. It was.
You're like, haha, that's what you get for being physically fit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being physically fit has never proven to be really good for you. I just
Hmm.
want to put that out there because a lot of guys that are wrestlers that die in their 40s of a heart attack.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the combination of booze,
But
barbiturates, and
again, I mean, a lot of times you see the NFL guys, they die with the
yeah.
the head tumor. Anytime that people are super physical and they're involved in physical things,
That's
it
why,
seems-
Ryan, you and I are gonna live to we're like 120.
I'm gonna be ageless.
That's what I'm talking about.
Unfortunately I'm gonna be the oldest person ever one day. You watch. Like a gargoyle, just watching everyone else die.
I kind of want to be there for that, so I gotta be at least third
If
in
you keep
line.
taking them injuries when you're going in reverse in your car, I don't know if that's going to happen. But
Oh,
I'm aboard.
I can't even remember what I hurt when I did that.
It was a whole combination of things. You're like
Was it
four
like my
things:
neck, my
your
back?
neck, your back, your neck, and your back. You know how it goes.
Yeah, it was
A
rough.
way too early Super Bowl picks, guys. Way too early Super Bowl picks. Mike, who do you think's going to be the Super Bowl champion next year? If you want, I could give
You
you
know
the
what? Fuck
odds
it.
again.
Fuck it. I am going the Kansas City Chiefs. I am no longer betting against
Because
Mahomes.
you all season long said they're just not that good. This team is not going to win.
I
They're going to
doubted
get
them.
knocked out. The
I
Kansas City
doubted
Chiefs
them.
are not going to win the Super Bowl, Mike. And how could how could anybody say that at this point
I
that
was
they're
just
not
watching,
going to
like,
win?
yeah, they were all out of sorts,
They have that guy.
Like they have that guy.
and
Now
they were
look,
able to turn it on like that.
yes, once the
And
playoffs
that's the
started,
scary part.
they were able to turn it on like that. Again, let me give you the odds, guys. San Francisco plus 500, Kansas City plus 750, Baltimore plus 900, Buffalo plus 950.
Nope, nope.
Cincinnati and Detroit, both plus 1,200. Miami plus 1,600. Dallas plus 2,000. And that is your best bet for your odds for next year.
I don't see any of those teams except for Kansas City, because they've proven they choke along the way.
I think that Detroit is going to be hungry. I think Detroit is going to be a team. They're going to do one of two things. They're either going to be really bad. I mean, they're either going to be really good or they're going to underachieve. And I think if the Detroit Lions could get over a certain hump to where during the season they're maybe 12-4, you're like, okay, well they're going to be just fine. I think then in the playoffs they for some reason they have a psychological advantage. There's always something about that team that loses in the championship round. Back in the early 90s when the Steelers were fighting their way and working their way to the Super Bowls. There was always something about that team that had the loss the previous season, not only in the Super Bowl, but the teams that lost the championship games. They always seem to have this extra edge in the following season. Detroit, minus a couple bad coaching decisions in this past game, and maybe losing their focus during the course of the game. You tweak those couple things. I think this Detroit team, adding a few more players from this year's draft, adding a few more players from this year's free agency, I think Detroit Lions could very well be the team from the NFC next year. Kansas City, they just can't continue to be the team from the AFC year
But they can
after
be.
year after year after year. But they continue to be. So
But
your
that
choice
is the hardest conference to come out of, though, is the AFC. So they're going to have the toughest battle.
I want to know Philadelphia. Philadelphia is not on this list.
No.
Yes, they fell off. They fell off bad after starting 10-0. Keep in mind 10-0. And then the next 8 weeks kind of fell apart for Philadelphia. I don't rule them out. They are a team that's going to have a chip on their shoulder after making some offseason moves. I think Philadelphia might be back in the mix. Detroit, Philadelphia is my NFC championship game. As far as the AFC goes, I think Buffalo, they're hungry. I just don't think Miami is that team. Cincinnati, possibly. They're another one of them teams that are either going to do really well or they're going to underachieve. They have the pieces to do really well.
But they, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins are what I think are both up for contract, or Tyler Boyd this year, T. Higgins next year. They got to figure out who they're keeping.
But they got that guy. When you have that guy, you're always in the race.
But can that guy stay healthy?
Exactly.
That's one thing. The thing. He's starting to get that rep as being injury prone. So can he be that guy?
The Baltimore Ravens, come on. I mean, this team was very, very close to being in the Super Bowl this year until they ran into the Chiefs. So my NFC championship game is going to be the Eagles and the Lions next year. And as my way early Super Bowl pick, I'm going to take Detroit to make it there. As far as the AFC, Mike, it's up in the air. I think Buffalo, I think Baltimore, I think Kansas City, I think Cincinnati. And depending on a few other things, maybe a few other teams, just maybe this
Yeah.
this Houston Texans team who
Yeah.
overachieved this year. Can they continue to overachieve? Will they have a little bit of a pullback? Again, you have a whole nother draft and a whole nother free agency
Mhm.
coming up here. So, a lot of
Yeah.
things could happen, guys, with
Well, I
these.
think like with KC, they do have a number of free agents, but they're Mahomes is getting ready to restructure his contract like Ben did, like Brady did, to free up room. And if they can get Chris Jones back, and maybe he can, they can settle him on, hey, we'll pay you close to the top D tackles, but not much. If you want to win some more Super Bowls, dangle that carrot, and then they'll have money to upgrade their wide receiver core. Imagine they get at least a true number one receiver. Pair him with Rashid Rice, who came on strong his rookie year. They can upgrade that receiving core to be even more dangerous. So they got time to reload because this year and last year were supposed to be the down years, and
And
they
they
went
are
back to back.
7-0 in the playoffs since Tyreek Hill left the
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
7-0.
Sometimes you got to cut a player to move on.
And people would always say, you know what, this team, when Tyreek Hill leaves, it's not going to be the same team. He has such big play capabilities, but you know what? He is in a place that's not getting it done. And and here you have this team that's 7-0 in the playoffs, guys. You when you have a good coach and you have a good quarterback, it's a hard thing to stop.
Yeah,
When this thing breaks apart and it's like New England, maybe Patrick Mahomes goes to Seattle and does something at the end of his career, and Andy Reid has more losses than he's had with. It really feels a lot like the New England Patriots.
mm-hmm.
Andy Reid has a pedigree. The guy wins a lot of football games. Early on, you remember him choking in Philadelphia
Yep.
for 4 straight NFC championship games. But you know what? The guy improved. And that's scary because now you have this combination, this head coach, quarterback combination. And a lot of times you see that being a very big part of those
Mm-hmm.
teams that get it done year in, year
Yep.
out. So look at your team, take a look in the mirror, and these are 31 other cities, and look at your team and say, is this what's going on my team? And what needs to happen to make things, to
Yeah.
make our team a competitor? Because go back, in the last 15, 20 years, this has been the case in the NFL.
Yep. You need that guy, and God, we saw it with Kansas City. That guy overcame a lot of warts on offense. It helped too that they had a really damn good defense, an underrated defense, to help carry them when the
I'm losing
offense
my
was
mind with it.
struggling.
What I want to know what's going on. It sounds like a wind, like you're going through a
It
wind
does.
tunnel.
Are you outside running derpy?
No,
You getting the miles in today? Are you training for the Tour de
no,
France?
Are you training?
maybe.
Are you training
There we
for?
go. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you training for Ty Greenwald's position?
That's you love this way too much.
I absolutely do.
Did Ty Greenlaw like kick
This
your
is
puppy or
gold.
something?
Yes, this is gold. Anytime I see something like this, I never forget. Like when you got hurt, going in reverse in your car. Do you think I'm ever going to forget that as long as I live?
No, no, no. You'll be the last, or the oldest person alive, and your last words will be, Mike hurt himself going in reverse.
Then I'll
No,
do the
I'm
butt.
trying to pay
Then
attention
I'll
to
do
the
the
media.
butt head laugh as I
I tell
pass.
you what, though, I did not pull a muscle. I did not pull a muscle. You can't pull fat, so I didn't pull a muscle.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so it might have been just like a
But you had that whole
cartilage issue.
combination. I mean, it was the back, the neck, the shoulder. Guys. So that is Derpy. Who do you think? Who do you think is going to be your way too early Super Bowl pick?
I have to agree with Mike.
And what did Mike say?
I would
Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Mike, who
Yeah.
did you pick an NFC team? I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't. No, God. Let's
San
go.
Francisco got to be in the conversation again.
San
I mean,
Fran.
come on.
I'm going to go dark horse. I'm going to go Green Bay.
As you figure, San Fran
You know what?
loses. San Fran loses by 3 points in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
They're just as good as a candidate as anybody else moving forward.
I'm going Green Bay. Dark
You think?
horse. Yeah, dark
right.
horse. Gonna go off the
Mike,
board.
I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Rematch of Super Bowl 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Green Bay and the
Yep.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Glenn Dawson's gonna crawl out the grave and
way too early
throw a
Super
pass.
Bowl picks. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yesterday there was some movement in the roster
Yep.
here in Pittsburgh. No surprises to me. I figured that all three of these guys would be gone eventually. But for the
Yeah.
Steelers, they tend to wait a little bit longer. They analyze and they see how things are playing out and they look around and
Oh
they,
no,
they
Mark on. Whew.
on Omar Khan. As of yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers part way with Mitch Trubisky, Chooks Okorafor,
Mhm.
and Presley Harvin the third. Three guys that I
The
really
greatest
thought
punter in Pittsburgh history.
the three guys that I really thought needed to go. And
Mhm.
Omar Khan, apparently he thought they really needed to go. They were day
Yeah.
after the Super Bowl, they were on their way
Yeah.
out the door, Mike.
When people were saying, 2024 season starts now, Omar Khan did not hesitate. He was like, see ya.
He
There's the
punched that
door.
time card. He's like, come on, let's go
Yep.
to work, guys.
Thank you for your efforts. Good luck in your future endeavors. Now get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But like you said, none of these moves were surprising at all.
No.
No,
No.
and yeah, right now that puts us about 4 million under the cap, or still 4 million over the cap. But there's still
Who's next? Who's next on the chopping block? Is there anybody that you're sure? Anybody that you're
Clam.
certain?
Allen Robinson. We'll say like 9 million, like 8.1 to 9 million in that range. He'll be gone.
What about Clam?
Oh,
No, they're not getting rid of
Clam
Clam.
got the patch. There's
I
no
know.
way.
They'll end up like extending him, free up cap space, and then just keep bumping the dead money down the line. So there'll be room there. Ogunjobi might be a candidate because he disappeared big time last year. Him and Cam, but they'll keep Cam. Ogunjobi, he might be a cap casualty. Those are definitely Allen Robinson. That contract was built to be a 1 year deal.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, that was like, hey, if you work out, we'll bring him back. If not, good luck.
It wasn't that he didn't work out. We just didn't have a
Maybe
passing
Levi?
game.
We just have a passing game for him. But yeah, he'll be gone. They'll look to upgrade there. But that's, like I said, $8 to $9 million safe there. Ogunjobi, you can get some cap relief if you designate him. I think what's a post June 1st cap cut. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Brian really has an interesting point here on the board. The Chiefs never let anyone score over 30 points all season long.
Mm-hmm.
The 85 Bears, the 04 Steelers, the 2000 Ravens, and the 02 Bucks didn't even do that.
Like I said, underrated defense.
Interesting.
I don't think that they're this great defense. I think they're coached in their game plan and their strategy and what they do. Mike, I mean, you look
their
at these
defensive
teams,
coordinator's a genius.
That's what I'm saying, because you look at these other teams with Mike Singletary and Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp. As you go through these teams, the names, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, man, remember that Chiefs defense that never let up 30 points? Yep. Wait, who was on that defense? And nobody stands out to where it is one of those intimidating defenses. But boy, did they play their asses off. They haven't let up 30 points all season.
Yeah, and you saw it in the Super Bowl, man. Snead and McDuffie, man, they were running the routes for the receivers. They were on point. That front four was, they had trouble stuff in the run, but when it came time to make a play, they made a play.
I do know this, guys. We do play the Kansas City Chiefs at home next year. So
hey, that's like the first time in like 90 years we were playing them at home.
So, if you want to, get up there and see these guys, see the champions, see the great Patrick Mahomes, possibly even catch a glimpse of Taylor Swift, depending on what's going on at that time of year. Guys, they are coming to Pittsburgh. The Kansas City Chiefs will be here next season.
Their defense was number 2 in scoring, 17 points. Yeah. Cleveland's defense, which was the number one, all the best defense around, they were 21st with 22 points a game. Yeah. So
it was a stingy defense. No two ways about it, though, Mike. I mean, they were able to. They fell short when they needed to. That was the problem with that defense, and it didn't help that the comeback player of the year came back and was tossing the ball to the DBs for
that's true.
Texans for a half straight. So Cleveland. They're Cleveland. They did what the Cleveland Browns do. No surprise to anybody. We're going to do it all again next year. Believe me, they're going to be champions come preseason. In the regular season, if they beat the Steelers, they're this great team that's finally beat the Steelers. Yeah. The Steelers are, at their worst right now. So, I mean, for them to be basing things off of us is absolutely insane. And that just goes to show you how insane people in Cleveland are.
Yeah.
That they don't recognize that, we stink. Why are you basing things off of what the Steelers do?
Yeah, they say, oh, you guys suck, but yet they want to brag that they had a better record than us.
You're
Like, if
right.
you suck, or do you have, or are you that much better than us?
They're very
Yeah.
they're very dense in Cleveland, Mike. I just want to
They are very
clear
dense.
that up.
Yeah, it looks like if the Steelers would cut Ogunjobi, designate him a post June 1st cap cut, they'd save about 4.5 mil.
Okay.
So
Oh, he's got to
him,
go.
maybe even someone like Nate Herbig. You could
Right.
find someone to take his spot. You can save about 3 million there.
And
So
they're going to cut, and all them guys that we brought on as depth last year. We're going to go through them and see, who has a future, who doesn't have a
mhm.
future, where we could save money. These guys are very good with looking at those
Yeah, you
numbers
can
and figuring
like
that
and
out. We
Omar
found that
Khan.
out last
Yeah,
year.
and Omar Khan was the cat guru that every team wanted before he became a GM. So he'll find ways to make money. Like, there's ways to move around. Like, I think Minka's contract, TJ's contract. You can shuffle money around.
Yeah.
Whatever's necessary, we're due.
I think Omar Khan and Weedle are going to be very, very active.
Yeah, I do too.
It's going to put me in minds of you Jim Rutherford when he was GM of the Pens,
I like it though.
just wheeling and
Because you know
dealing.
what?
And
What happened
if
when
it
Jim
works,
Rutherford was
great.
wheeling and dealing? You end up putting good situations together.
Yeah.
Remember the HBK line?
Yeah.
What a fucking genius move that was.
I'd rather the Steelers be aggressive and fail instead of being same old,
And
do it the way
fail.
we did and fail.
At least show
At
you're
least they're
trying. At
trying.
least fight. Put
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, that's why like every year they spend to the cap. They think they put out a good team and they fail. That
you
sucks.
gotta
But
fight. You gotta at least
now add being aggressive onto it. That's I'm willing. Okay, that you failed, but guess what? You tried. You did everything you thought could do. It just didn't work out. I want to see the effort put into it.
As you said, Larry Ogunjobi may be on his way out the door. I think he's solid. I think he didn't have a good season. I think if you're going to replace him, you got to have something good in store. You don't want to downgrade because he's solid. He just I feel that he underperformed.
Yeah.
So depending on what you're going to do, if you're going to go draft, you're going to go free agency, whatever it is, and these guys they'll have a plan in place. But if Ogunjobi goes, this guy's because he's the nicest guy ever. Cam Hayward is not going anywhere.
Oh no.
Cam Hayward is in a little bit of a predicament himself. He now, for the rest of his career, gets to wear that little patch on his chest, as Drew Brees did, as a lot of guys around the league have right now for winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. But he's up against a little bit of an issue, Mike.
Yeah.
It goes right where his Steeler symbol, the Steeler logo on his jersey, is right where it's supposed to go. They're wondering, can the Steelers make a little bit of an adjustment to help, help this along and help Cam get his, keep his little patch on his shirt. Mike, what are the Steelers going to do about this patch situation?
They'll find a way to make it work for Cam, or
Yeah.
Cam will say, "Hey, get rid of the Steeler patch and just put that on there." If I have a feeling that's what will happen, but put my patch.
You think they'll do away with the patch, with the Steeler patch? I like it. It was never always there. It was kind of a new thing, roughly 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Oh, there might be a jersey redesigned to make it, so Cam can get it.
So Cam could get his patch.
Hey,
You know
what?
it's gonna be annoying.
He finally won something in the NFL.
I know.
Not for what he did on the field, but he finally won something.
And he gets to wear it every day for the rest of his career.
Yeah, you know what? The nice participation trophy for
it. Interesting. Mike, who are the Steelers going to pick? What position are the Steelers picking number 1 overall?
We were picking 20th.
And I'm sorry, what position do you think that we're going to pick at number 20?
God.
It's going to be a tackle. Is it going to be defensive line? I just asked because
you can go anywhere. Literally, roll the dice, pick a position, pick the best player.
Because this morning, Derpy's sending me texts at 4:30 in the morning. I get up to take a shit, and I get this text message. It's Derpy's latest mock draft. And I open it up and I see Derpy say, "Hey, I made a mock draft." And I thought to myself, there's going to be somebody from Ohio State on this list.
And there was.
There was somebody from Ohio State on the list.
The cornerback. What's his name?
I don't even think that was the guy.
Burks. Oh, okay.
No, it was here's Derpy's mock draft as of 4:30 in the 4:31 in the morning. I can barely open my eyes. At number 20, the cornerback from Alabama, Kool-Aid McKinstry.
I like it, Derpy. I really do. I really do.
I do too. That'd be a huge
him
pick.
or the other one from Alabama.
Yes. His second pick, guys, at number 51 out of West Virginia, he has Zach Frazier.
Derpy is cooking.
Derpy's on fire at 4 in the morning.
Damn.
Also, pick number 84 out of Florida State, Braden Fisk, defensive lineman.
I like it. We need D-line help.
This guy here, this gentleman here, is the guy from Ohio State at 119. Linebacker Tommy Eckenberg.
Oh, wow. You went off. We're at 119.
Yeah.
That's not bad value.
And then finally, the last pick at 120, he has Jalen McMillan, the wide receiver out of Washington.
That's not a bad pick either.
So the mock, and I got to tell you, go online, even like if you go to type in NFL news, anything that's in the NFL today, all the news, it's all around mock drafts. I think it's too early for mock drafts. I'm not in the mood, but you know what? Derpy sent me this work from 4:41 in the morning. I could do nothing while taking a shit besides reading what he had said. And there you have it, Mike. What's the position? Ron on the board says O-line.
O-line, O-line, DB. Those are my two right there. Offensive line, either tackle, center, or cornerback.
Yeah.
Because I think you can find a starting right or left tackle, depending on where you want to put project. You can find yourself starting corner, and you can find yourself starting center. You know, those three positions are, you can find a guy right there.
Now here's a bigger question.
I wouldn't be opposed for them upgrading the defensive line either.
I think you got to. The defensive line is getting old.
Yeah.
You got to address that at some point. So then we have this debacle. It wasn't, the Super Bowl wasn't even over for 10 minutes, and they're already going on and on and on about this Ryan Tannehill. And then it falls down to Justin Fields. And then it falls down to Russell Wilson. Yes, Ron, center is very crucial. I think going after center would be a great idea. But these three quarterbacks, Mike, how do you handle this situation? Now, okay, let me put it out to you this way. We've said on this show many times, and many times it has been proven right, that you need to have a franchise guy, a guy that's going to be able to get in there in them games and in big time situations and be able to control the game and win football games. To say an overage, past his prime Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, I gotta say, I don't know if Justin Fields could be the guy to come in here and fix this particular team.
Yeah.
Because he's been in struggling offenses for a long time. And he's doing well, but come on. And then the other one, Ryan Tannehill, I was never a big fan of Ryan Tannehill. There's a reason he was a backup most of his career. And everyone's saying, well, Arthur Smith could turn him into, a sculpture.
But if they're bringing in Tannehill, it's just to back up and mentor Kenny Pickett.
And with Kenny Pickett, I mean, do you place somebody ahead of him again? And if you do, you might as well just drop the Kenny Pickett entirely, the process of Kenny Pickett, and work on getting your number one guy. So my question is this, Mike: will the Steelers continue to be stubborn and go with one of these routes at quarterback? Or will they ever go for the gusto to try to get that guy? Because I'm going to tell you this: Ryan Tannehill is not going to win you a Super Bowl next year.
No.
Russell Wilson is not going to win you a Super Bowl. They have to do one or the other. Are they going to continue to be stubborn as they always are and maybe make one of these moves, have them back up Kenny? You either have to go all in on Kenny or move on from Kenny. So these are the situations. Or you go for the gusto, which I think is an amazing idea. Package something up, package deals up, package draft picks, players, money, and go get your guy, whoever it may be, whether he already exists in the league and you have to pay out more money. This is how you're going to win in the league. What are the Steelers going to do, Mike, moving forward? Because you got to have that quarterback. It's not going to be, you're not going to win a Super Bowl if you don't. It's not my word against anybody. Look at your list of the past 20 Super Bowls. You got to have that guy, Mike.
You have to have that guy. And right now, like you're saying, the way they're, looking at the quarterback position, it brings back to mind years of when we had like Kent Graham, Jim Miller, Mike Tomczak, and then, not going all in on Cordell Stewart. It has that vibe to it.
Yes.
And we saw
what
we did in that era. We didn't do the poo, We couldn't win.
We
Did the
missed the
do.
playoffs. We had bad
Yeah.
seasons.
Like to me,
Yeah.
like Justin Fields, he's just a more athletic Kenny Pickett. You look at their numbers; they're very similar.
Yep.
Kenny just has a slightly better completion percentage, and Fields has a better touchdown to interception ratio.
Right.
They're the same guy, approaching like the same age. So no, none of these quarterbacks in the draft excite me. But you know what? Let's say a Jaden Daniels excites the Steelers or a Drake May.
Yeah.
Be aggressive, go up and get them. If it
Yeah,
fails,
I agree.
you know what? You struck out once, try it again. If you
You
strike
bet.
out again, try it again.
Yeah.
You have to find that guy.
You have
As
to
long as
take
you're
the
being,
shot every
just
once
be
in a while.
aggressive.
You got to take your shot every once in a while.
You have to.
And being that vital of a position, and people in the office, they got to say, hey, I see that people are getting pissed. People are chanting until our offensive coordinator gets fired.
Yeah.
These people in this city want to win.
Yeah,
they want to win, and
yeah.
we're not going to win with what we have going on or these other band-aid solutions. I feel with your Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, he
this guy never won anything.
If they really want to have a competition with Pickett, you're going to go out and the only way to have true competition is to get someone at his level, which would be giving Chicago a third round this year and a third round next year for Justin Fields. That would be the route because they're the similar player that he would have a competition. Or you bring back Mason Rudolph and have a competition. Because if you go out and get a Tannehill, he's just a backup. But if you get a Russell Wilson, a Kirk Cousins, a Baker Mayfield, you're paying them money to be a starter.
I'd get Baker Mayfield in a second.
Me too.
I'm not a Kirk Cousins guy, but I like Baker. Guys on the board.
Those are your options.
Ron saying you got to have the right coaches. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Coaching is a big part of football. There's a reason these guys are there. There's a reason these guys get paid good money. Brian on the board also says he's not a big fan of mock drafts. Neither am I, Brian. I'm not a big fan. We do talk about them on the show because it is a big part of the culture in the NFL. But I'm not a big mock draft guy. I like to keep up on it and see what people are saying, but it's mock draft season, I guess I could say. Also, coming out the other day, Eagles Fletcher Cox hints at wanting to play with Cam Hayward and the Steelers in 2024. Mike, any chance Fletcher Cox could land on this defense?
That's what we need, another aging defensive lineman.
Another,
you know what, Keanu Benton, you showed flash. You showed that you can be the guy. Guess what? We're going to sign Fletcher Cox, and flank him with Ogunjobi and Cam Hayward. No, that's not going to happen.
We could become the Penguins and have like the oldest.
The oldest time, and bring Mike Sullivan as
see how
coach,
that's working,
and then put all the rookies on the. Let them never play at all. Let alone having to, wait half the season to play. Mike Sullivan's the coach. They would be down in the minors. Then we would trade them down to the UFL is what we would do if, we were the Penguins and had all the young guys.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Don't get me talking about the Penguins. I am frustrated with them right now.
I'm going to get into them just briefly here because we do have to go over a few things, guys. I want to talk about before we start getting ready to wrap things up. The top seeds in the WPIAL boys basketball. Aliquippa, they are the top seed in the WPIAL in 2A. Lincoln Park, no surprise, top seed in 4A. Also, Manny Christian in single A. Deer Lakes in 3. Moon in 5A, and Mount Lebo is the top seed in 6A.
You know what? Aliquippa better be careful with basketball. You don't want to win too well in there, too, because next thing you know, you'll be playing in the D League.
That's right. They'll be winning the NIT next year.
You know what? They might.
Pittsburgh Passion, the girls, their schedule came out, guys, starting in April. We're going to have women's football back out at the Pittsburgh Passion. 6-game schedule. They're at Alabama to begin, or April 27th. At home to play DC on May 4th. They're playing New York at home on May 18th. They're at Tampa Bay on May 25th. Home against Boston on June 8th. And finally, they finish up their season against Columbus on June 15th.
That Boston game, that's the team that kept beating us last year.
They were rough. The Pitt Panthers back on the hardwood tonight, taking on ranked number 21 Virginia. Virginia is coming in with a 19-5 record. Pitt with a 15-8. Can the Pitt Panthers keep their streak going and beat another ranked team? That game is at 7:00 tonight. Pittsburgh Penguins, they lose. We didn't talk about them over the weekend or on Monday because of the Super Bowl. They lost Friday night 3-2 to the Wild. They lost Saturday night 2-1 to the Jets. Their next game is tomorrow. They play the Panthers at home. So Panthers coming in with a 33-15-4. So let's see if the Penguins could knock these guys off and get back in the right column.
Yeah, this is a key stretch for the Penguins. They have a nice little,
gotta get it going.
a little homestand coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they Florida, then at Chicago, then home against the Kings, home against the Islanders. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Islanders are above us. Home against Montreal and home against Philly. You have to win at least 4 out of the next 6 to have a chance. Put yourself in position.
Pittsburgh Pirates signed 2-time All-Star catcher. He is Manny Grandel. During the Super Bowl, this actually happened. It makes you wonder why they did it during the Super Bowl. Did they try to slide this one by us? Yes, Manny Grandel comes in with a 234 career average. Pretty fitting for the Pittsburgh Pirates. His very first season in the majors, he bat 297. Everything after that was below 240. So, they say depth, but he could very well be the starting catcher on this team after losing Endy. So,
So what's the other?
At least it's not Austin Hedges.
Well, at least my thing is you got to go after starting pitching. That is the need of the Pirates. And here they go. They're, still working on catchers and everything else. That's the way the Pirates operate. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website, man?
The2dumbyinzers.com. The2dumbyinzers.com. If you're new, all of our social links are over there. Merch stores over there, the blog's over there, and it's Ryan's favorite time of the year because the blog will be nothing but mock drafts. I can't wait. I can't wait till Ryan every day has to go look at my mock drafts.
That's all right, because every day the Derpy says the new 2 Dumb Yinzer Pledge of Allegiance here on the show makes it a good day. Maybe at some point we'll take the recorded copy and use it every day.
For now it's it.
Yeah, but now it's with the live being fresh, it makes it better. You guys ready for question of the day?
I'm ready for question of the day.
This is the Super Bowl champions edition of the question of the day. Guys on the board, Mike, Derpy, here we go. How many NFL teams, guys, have 4+ Super Bowl wins? I'm looking for how many NFL teams have 4+ Super Bowl wins. Take a moment to think that over, fellas. We are live, everybody, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you don't catch the show or you would just rather listen to the show, you could always go over to Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. We take the brand new show we do every day live, and then we upload it over on Spotify in podcast form. You could be at the gym, you could be in the car, you could take a walk, you have your earbuds, put it in, listen to some 2 Dumb Yinzers every day, 8 o'clock. The new show goes up on Spotify. Check it out. All right, guys, the question of the day is this: how many NFL teams have 4+ Super Bowl wins? Derpy, I'm going to start with you today. I think I started with you yesterday, but I'm going to go with you again today. How many NFL teams do you think has 4+ Super Bowl wins, 4 or more? There's 32 total teams. How many of those 32 have 4+ Super Bowl wins?
I'm going to go 5.
5. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and log Derpy into place. Derpy said 5, guys. 5 NFL teams have 4+ Super Bowl wins. Derpy, you were locked into place. Mike, I'm going to come over to you now.
Yes.
How many NFL teams have 4+ Super Bowl wins? Ron on the board says 4. What do you think?
You said 4 wins?
4+ Super Bowl championships.
I am going with 6.
6. Is this your final answer?
Yes.
All right. My button went haywire, so just pretend that I'm locking you into place.
Ding.
Ralph on the board
Ding.
also says 4. Ralph says Dallas, Steelers, 49ers, New England. All right, guys. The question of the day is this: how many NFL teams have 4+ Super Bowl wins? Derpy, Mike, you're locked in. Ralph, Ron on the board, both say 4. Guys, the answer of the amount of teams that have 4 or more Super Bowl wins in the NFL, 7.
Oh,
New
Really?
England, New England and Pittsburgh have 6.
yep,
Dallas and San Francisco have 5.
yep.
Green Bay, Kansas City, and the New York Giants all have 4.
The
Oh,
Giants, that's the one I forgot.
So there you go, guys. They
Damn,
all have 4.
forgot about the Giants.
I thought that would be the one that people would forget would be the
I
Giants.
like I forgot about Green Bay. I was like, oh shit, yeah, they won 4. I thought that was the last one.
So there you go, guys. I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we wouldn't do it without you. Want to thank everybody on the board. As always, you guys always keep it interesting. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off for the day?
Yeah, hold on, real quick.
Nothing you could have been doing during the first 59 minutes.
You know, it's something I could have been doing too.
Okay,
72 days, 7 hours, 42 minutes, and 14 seconds until the draft.
I thought you were going to say till opening day, but
No one cares about that.
first pitch.
First pick in 72 days, 7 hours, 42 minutes. Pumped.
Derpy.
book those World Series tickets.
You already put your down. You already got
Bucko
your
Fever.
All right.
Go Fever, baby.
Guys, I do want to say tomorrow, tune in to WBVP on Facebook or on YouTube. The guys here, everybody that's on your screen in front of you, myself, Mike, and Derpy, we were invited onto One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale. Tomorrow, the show is between 5 and 6 o'clock p.m. You could go to, again, YouTube. You could go to Facebook. You could also download the app if you want to have the app for the radio station, WBVP. You could listen to the show. But tomorrow, guys, between 5 and 6, the Two Dumb Yinzers will be invading One Man's Opinion with on Sports with Brian Pasquale. It's going to be a good time. We're going to talk about our getting to 500 shows. A lot of fun things we're going to do tomorrow over there. We will be live in the morning, as always, as we are right here, right now. But again, tomorrow, 5 p.m., take the liberty of, as I said, just go to YouTube, type in WBVP, and you'll be able to watch his show live as you can every single week. It's a really good show, guys. I encourage you to check him out, and especially tomorrow. But nonetheless, One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Williams. Great stuff, guys. Check it out.
I'm pumped. I'm ready.
Well, yes, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll all be there. We have to condition Derpy on being Have, because how he kind of gets out of hand sometimes.
Yeah. I gotta condition myself. I cannot swear at all tomorrow.
It's gonna be
That's what I'm worried about.
Adjustment.
Yeah.
Man.
I wonder if they'll let Derpy do his pledge.
I gotta be on my P's and Q's.
But Derpy, tomorrow also we are gonna get into more of your songs.
Oh God,
Mike, he introduced something to me yesterday after the show. I think that I think this is going to be gold. I like it a lot. You'll see what I'm talking about tomorrow. We will be doing a little bit more of that, along with the Steelers, NFL, all kind of sports guys tomorrow at our usual time. Anything else, guys? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I got nothing.
Derpy.
Let's go Pens.
All right, there you go, everybody. We got Pitt Panthers back in action tonight. Check them out, 7 o'clock. They're playing number 21, Virginia. In Virginia, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about that and many other things. For Mike at the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, for Derpy, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers, everyone have a great, great Fat Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.